Hello everybody and welcome to another exciting episode of the Idaho Man Cave Show. Today we're going to go on an exciting adventure. Just kidding, we're going to put the motor together in this car today. You guys ready? Alright, let's get to work. Alright, first thing we're going to do, because I know it's been annoying the crap out of you guys, is get rid of this fuel pump. So, I know it's been annoying me too. So let's get rid of it. 2 bolts, I know. You're like, why didn't you do this a year ago when you started these videos? Because it feels like it's been that long. Listen, I was busy, alright? It wasn't a priority, and it wouldn't have irritated you guys if I took it off. And you guys just wanted to come back and watch to see if I ever removed this fuel pump. Just admit it. Hope I'm not shaking you too much. You're sitting on the car again. I know, I should have learned my lesson last time, but here I am, doing the same thing again. Man, it's gonna look so nice not having this thing on there. How's my arm look from over there? You guys like it? Is that a good view of my arm? Come on, bolts. Work on out of there. You guys don't need to stick around anymore. At least those bolts are heat triggered now. Because they were on fire. I think that's what I'm trying to joke about. So, yeah, okay. Instead of fighting with this hose for the next, 6 years, I'm just gonna cut it. Oh, look at that old gas. I didn't think that thing had gas left in it. Cool. Gross. Get out of there. Get out of there. Alright. Got that all cleaned up. Ready to install. For all you guys that didn't know, that little shorty bolt that's in the front, you can actually pull that out and then stick a longer bolt in there and it'll hold the push rod for you. And so just kind of stick your finger up there, hold it in place and feel it till it goes to the top of the stroke. Put a bolt in, tighten it down just a little bit, just by hand, doesn't take much to hold it. And yeah, makes it a little bit easier for putting these things on. And with a little movie magic, just like that, the fuel pump's installed, along with a little shorty bolt. Just don't forget to put that back in. If you leave that long bolt in, that's gonna be a problem. So make sure you take that back out, put that little shorty bolt back in. First thing we're gonna do before we put the head back on is wipe down the mating surfaces. What are we gonna use with that? Same old brake clean. So, yep, that's what we got. That's what we're going with. If it's good enough for brakes, probably good enough for your engine. And so we're just gonna give that cylinder head surface, the mating surface, a good wipe down. Get off any residue before we slap that guy on there. That way we know we got a good clean surface going on. Oh yeah, you probably are just staring at me. And if so, you're so lucky. I know what you're thinking. Your back is so nice. Oh yeah, I love your back. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, all right. Wipe this down too. We're already there. Before we install the head, we should probably put a head gasket on. Looks like a good idea to me. Yep, this will work. It says it's built for this, so we're gonna assume it's correct. If it'll come on, go on there. There, that looks nice. Blue, pretty. Let's see if we can get this cylinder head set on. This is why I need to start working out again. Yep, I'm weak. I know. Okay. Hello there. That good? Yeah. That's good. That should be fine. Well, I kind of went out a little more than I should have, and I bought new bolts because, you know what? Why not? Let's do it. I've reused these a ton of times before, but this time I was like, you know what? This car deserves a little bit more. It deserves more love. Probably not. I don't even know if this engine's going to be any good. We're all about to find out together. Hopefully the answer is yes, because otherwise we just spent a lot of time and a little bit of money doing this for fun. But that's all right. One way or another, we're going to find out. Yeah, bolts, 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 bolts. I think I need a different bolt there, and I need a different bolt there. These are in the wrong spot. You, my friend, go here. How's that Russian guy talk? There's a Russian dude. You, my friend, you there. Both go on other side. And maybe he's not Count Dracula. He probably doesn't sound like that. But anyways, let's get all these started. Where do we? Somewhere around here there's room for more bolts. So, yep, right there. There. That's the other shorty one, isn't it? I think that's the other shorty. Yep. Put that one there. Put that one there. Yeah, kick those out of the way. Get out of the way. Leave me alone. You guys have been picking on me all night. Rockers. It's always the rockers. Let's get the rest of these bolts in. Bolts. I don't know why I'm obsessed with Count Dracula. Is that his name? The dude from Sesame Street? So, I think that guy haunts me. So, when I was a kid, I don't think I was counting sheep like normal people. I was probably counting like Count Dracula. 1, 2, 2, All right, let me grab a wrench. We'll tighten those down. All right, time to torque them. You'll notice there's a nice diagram on another phone right in front of you. And so I tightened those down with a cordless impact. Not hard, but just tighten them down, and I didn't bother, getting my arm out of the way. So you didn't get to see anything. And so we're gonna do this two-step. I'm gonna do 40 pounds first, and then we're gonna kick it up to the 65. Sound good? Sounds good to me. Let's do that. Okay, 40. Let's kick it up a notch. Now let's do the final 65. Starting with you. Okay, torqued. Perfect. Next. You know what that sound means. Time to clean the other mating surface. Let's prep. I was thinking maybe you guys could see me a little better over there. Not that you guys want to see me. I don't know. Maybe you guys like me. I don't know. Maybe you want to stare at my beautiful face. I don't know if that interests you or not, but you get a look at it right now. I think. Maybe you can see me. I can't tell. You're all the way over there. I'm over here. Let's get this thing nice and clean. And let's get ready to do another head. One more head. Yeah. I feel like I sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger the entire time I'm doing this. Yeah. Clean the engine. Is that how it really sounds? I hope not. Maybe I do. Maybe I do hope it sounds like that. Maybe I want to be like Arnold. Maybe people would love that. Do you like that? Okay. Let's clean the head surface. We have another beautiful head gasket brought to you by Felpro. I mean, I don't know where else you buy them from, to be honest with you. Who else makes gaskets? Is there another gasket maker? If you're another gasket maker, I don't know about you. Sorry. All right. Time for the other head. Falling here real quick with this. That's what I need to do. That going that much easier? I mean, I tried to fall down with it. Is that? I guess that's. All right, let's put in head bolts. Well, what do we have here? Yeah, it's an end bolt. So, head bolts, there's a short one. Let's do that one first. I know where that one goes now. And then you go there, you go like a car. You go's a car, right? Yeah. And then you can go there, and you go there. That's like it's meant to be like this. Wow, it's like a brand new car. Maybe not. Maybe it's a little ways away from a brand new car. It's like a really old car with a few new parts. That's the short one. Let's put that where it goes. Let's put you there. You there. One more. Is that? Maybe I'm wrong. Yep, I'm wrong. You go. More with the car again. More with the Yugos. Look at Yugo, they're wonderful cars. Great. Excellent condition. All right. Let's snug these down real quick and then we'll torque them. You guys ready for the torque sequence? Everybody likes a good torque sequence. That's what they should call it in movies. Here comes the torque sequence. Good. Done. All right, guys. Heads are officially back on the car. Tomorrow when we get up, we're going to come in, do the push rods, get those all adjusted out, and then get the intake thrown on, valve covers, exhaust. It should go pretty quick. See you in the morning. It's the next day. We got to get this thing put back together. So let's put in push rods and set valves. And two things. Nobody's even bothered to ask why there's GM cars in here and Ford decor. And number two, I've never owned a Dodge before in my life. But Just wanted to get that off my chest. Let's go back to work. So sick of getting pushed around. Set the push rods. Let's get these installed so they can get pushed around some more. We can do the all-exciting valve lash adjustment, which is everybody's favorite on a small block. When I mean everybody's favorite, I hate doing it. I hate it. But we got to do it anyways, so let's get to work on that. There's a guy that gives a very good description of how to do this online, and I think I'm going to go with his method on it. There's a reason there's colored tape all over the engine. But check the link in the description, and I'll put up a link to this guy's video that I think did a wonderful job on explaining this. And mostly all we're trying to do on valve lash adjustment, if I can get my hand in here, is what we're trying to do is, if you look at the push rod, we're trying to take up the slack of the push rod up against the top of the lifter. But the one thing we don't want to do is push down and collapse the lifter. We don't want to actually take that play up. That is our play. Oops. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to adjust it to where we take up a portion of that, or we get it right on top of that play, but we actually don't take up the play. Okay, all we're trying to do is get the push rod to seat against that and against the rocker, and then we preload it. And so that is what we're gonna do. So let's see how it works. All right, guys, on this valve in particular, I'm just gonna show you on this one. I now have it to where the push rod is tight up against the rocker, okay? I can't move it up or down really. And it's not forcing the plunger on the lifter, okay? And so I can't move it up or down any, but I'm not forcing that. And then we preload it. And so that's where you give it the half turn, 3/4 turn, whatever your heart desires. I'm gonna go with 3/4 turn because supposedly that's what the book says. And that seems like the right method to me. I'll give you guys a recap as soon as I get done doing the rest of these. All right, boys and girls, half the lifters are now preloaded. We have the lash adjusted for half of the lifters. And so now if you look at the lifters, if you can see them, The plungers are pushed in on the ones with yellow tape because we're doing half the valves now on the top dead center setting, and then we're going to rotate the engine over 360 degrees, and we're going to do everything that doesn't have yellow tape. And so now if you look at the lifter, it is no longer, there is now pressure on the lifter, or the plunger of the lifter. And so, yeah, it's no longer sitting on its seat. And that's all we have to do for valve adjustment. Okay, that's it. All right, now let's do the other half so we can button this engine back up. All the lifters are preloaded now. We are done adjusting valves, which means we can put on valve covers, intake manifolds, stuff like that. If you're wondering why I'm being so particular about making sure I did this to GM spec, it's because I'm still using the original cam, still using the original lifters. So I want it set up the way it was for the factory, and I want the preload to be the same, so that way we don't wipe out the original cam. Because otherwise, that's going to cause me a lot of problems. And so my goal was to try to get this thing preloaded exactly the way it was from the factory. And so now, with all that set up and done, we're going to turn this engine over to top dead center again on the compression stroke for number 1. And that way our timing's good, and we're going to button on an intake manifold. Like always, first thing we're going to do is wipe down all the sealing surfaces where we're going to put gaskets using our favorite thing, brake clean. Yeah, I know. I like brake clean. Yeah, I know, I got problems. Yeah. And so let's clean all these mounting surfaces. And that way we get a nice good seal on the engine. So, yeah. Now, as far as the staining on the heads goes from the gaskets, I'm not too worried about that. Like I said, we used a razor blade to clean off the surfaces, so we did get as much of the stuff off the cylinder heads as we can, but sometimes you end up with a lot of staining on the cylinder heads and the intake manifold, stuff like that. And so if you try to get all that off, all the impressions, sometimes you end up creating a surface that isn't true anymore. It's not straight. And so all you're really worried about is getting the actual gaskets off the mating surface. And so, perfect. And then, let's get some gaskets, set those in place. I'm going to use silicone along the edges to silicone the back and front of the intake manifold rather than use those little rubber gaskets. Let's get those put in place and get an intake thrown on. Gasket surfaces are clean, silicone's applied, intake manifold gaskets are set. I sprayed the intake manifold gaskets with copper coat because it helps to seal them, plus it just holds them in place when I'm putting the intake on. And so now we got to throw this intake on. Ready, intake? Sit down on there nicely, would you? Let's do this the right way. Does that look good? All right. Let's grab some bolts. See if we get this thing bolted down. All right, intake is nice and bolted down, and it's starting to look kind of pretty under here. Ooh, yeah. Anyways, let's also go out here. Let's go for a walk. Do do do, do do do, do do do, do do do. Look at that, a water pump. I figured something on here had to look good. All right, and that's the thing that's gonna look good. Let's bolt this on here in a minute. All right, guys, time to go over all these parts from Summit Racing that I've had sitting around in my garage. I said I'd showcase them. Let's do it right now. So I buy a lot of parts from Summit Racing just because I've really enjoyed their service. They do a great job of getting stuff out in a timely manner. And it also helps that for me, living here in Idaho, they have a store down in Henderson, and I can get this stuff typically next day when I order it without having to pay for next day shipping. So that just sweetens the deal right there for me. So let's kind of go over some of the things that I bought from them, and I'm going to start using some of it right now. And so first off, we got a new distributor rotor. So also bought a new distributor cap. We got some valve cover hold down tabs. Some of them were missing on the engine originally, so I got a new set of those. So I got some valve cover studs. I really like using these guys because it just makes putting the valve covers on and off easier. Not that I plan to do it a few times. New water pump bolts. I needed these because I kind of threw the other ones away. So we also got a new air cleaner stud, some wire separators, new battery terminals because they're gone. And we're going to try to use those original battery cables for now because there's no sense in buying new ones when I can reuse what I got. I got a new choke bracket for that Edelbrock carb because it was missing when I got it. New carb studs, the little ball studs for the carburetor so we can attach the cable to it, the throttle cable. A new thermostat, a new banjo fitting for the carburetor, some return springs, a chrome water neck. Oh yeah. And lastly, check this out. I think this is super neat. They make a pre-bent line for a Chevy 350 to use with a stock pump, and it connects to an Edelbrock carburetor, and it's for use with an Edelbrock manifold. And so I bought that, and I think that's actually going to work really good. I was kind of doing a mock-up on it after I got the pump installed. For anybody that wants the part number, I guess I'll make it easier for you. Here's the part number for that guy. Anyways, we're going to put that on and see how it works. But first, I need these. Let's see if we get this pump installed. Yeah, that's going to look awkward on there for a little bit, but oh well. One of these days, we'll pretty this thing up a lot better, but for now, it's more about seeing if we have a functional engine than anything else. All right, I'm going to shove the bottom bolts in real quick, but before I do, I smeared some thread sealant on them. So these do go into the water jacket, so yeah, good idea to usually put thread sealant on these bolts. I'll pull the top two out once I get these ones started, put some thread sealant on those, but first I got to get these guys in. Let me give you guys a little bit better angle so you guys can see what we've gotten done so far. Things are starting to look a little bit better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, let's keep going. Somebody happened to give me a gift card to O'Reilly's the other day, and so I thought, why not buy these? It's not going to make it any more functional, but it's going to make it prettier. Well, let's get these thrown on. And that right there is why I love valve cover studs. It makes assembling these things so much easier. No screwing around trying to align the gasket and trying to align the covers. You just slap everything together, tighten it down. Yeah, worth it. Valve covers are installed and it's looking pretty good. All right guys, let's throw a distributor in this thing and start timing it. I'll show you guys dropping in the distributor. After that, I'm probably just gonna get to work on doing a lot of little stuff so we can see if we can get this thing fired up today. All right, distributor is properly seated now and we are pointed at the #1 cylinder. Perfect. All right, base timing is set. We're good to go on that. I'm gonna start throwing everything together and I'll bring you back here in a little bit when we got it all assembled. All right, guys, she's back together. So she looks all right. She doesn't look too bad, does she? This old engine kind of cleaned up all right. But it's time to see if it'll run. Only thing I gotta do is drop a battery in it real quick. And luckily I got one sitting in a car right here. So let's take the battery out of that, throw it in here, and let's see if this thing turns over. Well, battery's in and something works. I got flashers, so that's cool. So at least we're getting power. Let's go see if anything else works though. I don't know. I've never hooked a battery up to this car yet. Headlights are on. I don't have headlights, so that's a problem. Well, How about we turn the key on? I don't know if I have anything else. Let's check the radio. Yeah. I don't know if anything else is working. Well, let's at least see if it turns over. How's that sound? Well, it turns over. Pour a little gas on the car. See if we can get a fire at least. Hopefully it's not out the carburetor. How about that? How about that? Let's try it. Well, unless you don't want to crank, but I got a dome light. Try this again, shall we? See if it starts. Get out the meter. See if we got any power to the ignition. Let's check for voltage real quick of that coil and see what she looks like. See if we're getting a full 12 volts of that coil. So that'd be nice. And we are. Okay, so we got power to the coil, so that's a good sign. Now we just need to chase it from there and figure out where we're dropping voltage for the ignition. All right, guys, it's getting dark, but quick update. We ended up having to put points in this thing, and that's why we weren't getting ignition from this guy. So we had to replace points in here. And while we were at it, we actually also put a new starter in it and new battery cables. Just because when we were cranking that thing before, the battery cables were getting really hot. And so we opted to put a new starter in it, put some new battery cables in it, and now this car officially has its own battery, which we just bought off Marketplace. Guess we're gonna find out if that works too. And so now, let's see if this car officially starts. Should we try this again? I think we should try this again. Please start. That's fine. It's trying to start. Let's actually pump some gas to this thing now. It's the next morning. We're outside. I got a gas can hooked up to the car right now, so we could run fuel right from a jerry can to get this thing running. We started filling this thing full of water just to see if it would hold some water, and it's leaking horribly out of one of the freeze plugs. So I'm assuming we have a freeze plug getting ready to push out, and it's the one right behind the motor mount. But we're not gonna let that deter us. Let's get this thing started. All right, fire in the hole. Kick that choke off real quick. That's a really high idle. Let's see how that does now. Well, after a little timing adjustment just by hand, still haven't put a light on it. Sounds okay. Still got a miss, it sounds like. Still sound like we're down one cylinder, but I'm gonna call this a win. One way or another, we now have this engine running. Well guys, I think this one's gonna be leaving. Figured I'd give you guys a quick snap of it while we had it all cleaned up so you can see how it looked once we at least did some work on it. And surprisingly, it actually cleaned up pretty good considering. Even the back seat don't look too bad. But yeah, figured you guys at least wanted to see this car before it took off. So we definitely did a little clean work on it, just to try to make it look as nice as possible. Got that little piece put back together. So anyways, she doesn't look too bad, huh? I don't think we did too bad with this one. Hate to see it go, but honestly, well, more time with the Chevelle. All right. Well, that concludes another episode. Let's recap real quick. What all we gotten done? Well, for one, we're missing a car now. The Firebird's officially gone. I know some of you are kind of sad about that one, but to be honest, I got to do what's best for my family, and having both these projects right now just wasn't in the cards. And so we had to cut one of them loose. Hate to see it go, but honestly,
it's the best for the better right now, right? So we gotta look at the positive sides. Gotta stay positive. So let's look at the other fun things we got done. Like the Chevelle. What did we get done on this car? Well, it officially runs. Yeah, big win, giant win, right? That's huge, monumental. And we need to be excited about those wins, even if it didn't go exactly the way we had thought it would in our mind, right? So we got a massive coolant leak. Yeah, we're gonna have to look at that. We gotta figure out what's wrong. Did we blow out a freeze plug or did we crack the block? I don't know. But we're gonna figure out one way or another. We'll look at that here in a little bit. Is it still a giant win? Yeah, we accomplished a lot. This thing's been off the road since 1981 and it is officially running again. That's huge, and we gotta look at the positive sides. All right, so we'll dig into that here in a little bit. Other things we gotta dig into. Next, fuel tank. We need to start getting fuel to this thing from its actual fuel source. That's gonna be number one, two. Anyways, we're gonna work on that next. The other thing I wanna do, we're gonna start getting this interior out of here. It's gross, and honestly, I don't even like sitting in it. So we gotta do what's best, and we gotta get that interior and clean it real quick. And so those are the next things on the list. So with that, we got a lot done. I'm really happy with the progress we're making. Even if we have some minor setbacks, no big deal, right? Gotta stay positive when we're working on these projects. And with that, we're gonna conclude another episode of the Idaho Man Cave Show. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, come back again and see us and see what we got going on. Appreciate you guys for watching. See you on the next episode. Thank you.